It seems like with Micro Four Thirds they've really run out of ideas, and in terms of tech, they've reached their limit. So the question is Micro Four Thirds dead?
I really do think Micro Four Thirds is in danger of finding itself in the same predicament as 4/3 DSLRs, finding itself out of favour with bigger sensor cameras taking its place. But look, it's not just me talking, I also talked to the person who some people think is the face of Micro Four Thirds, Lauk.
Oh,
hello Olympus fanboy.
Hey, I'm not.
Well, that's what they think you are. This is going to be a really great FaceTime conversation for video.
Every fanboy never admit that they are some kind of fanboy anyway. Like no hipster would admit that they are hipster anyway. So
Exactly. It's too uncool to say, oh, I'm a hipster. So, yeah. So why did you get into Micro Four Thirds?
Well, because at that time I get this, and at that time I was the only, not only, one of the first person in Hong Kong to get the Olympus EP1.
Ooh.
I think this is good enough performance, but in a very small body. That's why. Very simple. Of course, somebody think this is it's a very small sensor. I think that's good enough. You can get bokeh. Quality is really quite good.
That's a really important thing to get bokeh, of course, because we are DigitalRev TV. We're bokeh halls.
Yeah.
4/3 failed because it didn't really offer any real advantage over APS-C sized DSLRs, but Micro Four Thirds did. Size.
So Olympus are basically dead?
Yeah, kind of. Well, for me, pen is
That would make another good website name. So there we are.
right.
You heard it right there from the Olympus fanboy himself. That's what he thinks.
Well, it's really quite, I don't know, this what?
Pen is disappointment.
I mean, it's really depressing thinking of that. They started all.
Yeah.
Well, one of the arguments for Micro Four Thirds when it first came out was the size. It was small, but these days you can get cameras this small, but with full frame sensors inside. A full frame A7 isn't that much bigger than a Pen F. Pen is bigger than you might think. Smaller hands will make it look even bigger.
Well, I think there's still room for improvement when it comes to image quality. I think they can't really raise the megapixel count anymore, but with video they can.
Maybe they can.
Maybe they can, but I guess it won't be very good for low light performance.
But the thing is, when it comes to megapixels, they can only go so high. They've gone to 20 megapixels with a Pen F, but I don't think that they can go much higher than that without compromising things like noise performance. Noise performance is not as good as the bigger sensor cameras either. Not for video, and certainly not for images. Well, in terms of its use as a camera, you can't complain. It does its job. It takes pictures. But of course, things are different now. There's so much choice. Why would you still go for Micro Four Thirds? Yeah, and pro photographers can use cheap cameras to get good results, and there's a high-res mode on some Olympus cameras, and nothing. We're geeks. We want super high-res photos on tap every time we take a photo of a boring inanimate object. Why? Because we can, alright? But on a serious note, Micro Four Thirds can still do good things.
Now, when we're talking about the Panasonic range of Micro Four Thirds cameras, the GH4 is one of the highlights. 4K video and really good video as well. Who needs a 5D Mark III when you've got this? But the thing is with Sony now, you've got 4K with the Sony A7s, and with A6300, you've got 4K video. No pixel binning too. That is one big fire up the GH4's arse.
Yep, so it's perfect for taking 4K selfie videos of yourself, obviously, or shooting a video of our mate Barry's man boobies in 4K vision. And for Olympus?
The thing is with Olympus is that they're relying on their really rather good 5-axis in-body stabilization. But that's pretty much it. And also naming their new cameras with old names to evoke some kind of nostalgic appeal. Pen F, OM, G.
Olympus once innovated with the EP1, but are now rehashing shit and putting it in new shells. It's like the old days of changing Nokia phone shells, but at least you were under no illusion that it was a different device. But look, the bodies might not be especially small or light, even though they might still be attractive to hipsters, but the lenses are quite small.
Yeah, that's the thing. So people think that whenever I diss Olympus cameras or Micro Four Thirds cameras, they think I've got a vendetta against Micro Four Thirds, and they say, "I'll just let Locke review it because Locke's a fanboy of Olympus and Micro Four Thirds." But I've actually got more Micro Four Thirds cameras than you.
Yeah, you got the EP2 and then GM1 and then GH4.
Yeah.
Although you're a Panasonic fanboy though.
Oi, that's not true. I'm a Sony fanboy because I get paid by them, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one benefit of Micro Four Thirds is that the lenses are smaller. This is a 35mm equivalent, quite tiny, but then you've got other things like this. This is the Uber dongle. There are a decent number of native lenses available for Micro Four Thirds. That's one advantage over a lot of other mirrorless cameras. If you're bored of the native ones, you can divorce them and buy some non-native ones online and marry that to your camera with an adapter.
You know what? One of the disadvantages of Micro Four Thirds has always been clear. It is a 2x crop. Of course, you can put loads of different lenses on it because of the small flange distance, but with 2x crop, a 50mm equals 100mm.
Well, you can get a speed booster, but look, that crop factor also means tele lenses are smaller too.
Now, I probably hear you saying, what are you talking about? That's huge. But no, this is a 300mm lens times 2 equals 600mm. If I were to get a 600mm lens for a Canon 5D Mark III, it would look like this. I mean, look at this.
I mean, the lens hood for the Canon 600mm is big enough to be a hat.
What about Micro Four Thirds now? Do you still like it?
Nowadays it's okay. It's alright, but the problem is nowadays Fujifilm also offers small body, small camera with really good performance. That's the reason I get this. But then also Sony offer APS-C size and full frame mirrorless. That's way better as well.
So where can Micro Four Thirds go now then?
Nowadays, this size is not small anymore, so it have to be smaller. Like the GM1 you've got, that is really amazing because it's the size of a compact.
Yeah.
But it got a Micro Four Thirds sensor. You can change lens. That is really amazing. That is something that differentiates Micro Four Thirds from other APS-C size mirrorless.
Exactly.
And then, yeah.
There are lots of options in the mirrorless market, and that's what might make the Micro Four Thirds cameras less relevant. Full frame mirrorless is the current big thing, and 4K APS-C cameras will give Panny some serious competition. But what can they do to keep Micro Four Thirds alive?
All right. Okay then. So
Okay then.
back to the studio.
Bye.
Bye.